first thing we're going to do is take 2 cups of flour. And it calls for a package of yeast. Sprinkle in about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon maybe of yeast. And then we'll get our wet ingredients started. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been stirring it for a little while. As it's melting, I've been breaking it up by cutting it into smaller and smaller pieces. What we're doing is heating it up so that it activates the yeast that's in with the flour already. If it gets too hot, it will kill the yeast and your bread won't rise. So we want to make sure that we're watching it. The butter's getting pretty close. I would like it just a little bit smaller. But if you break it up as you go, you won't get your mixture too hot. Okay, so now that the mixture is almost completely melted, we're going to take it and we're going to add it into our flour. And we're going to add a couple of eggs. Turn off the stove. Okay, so we're going to crack 2 eggs. And we're cracking it into a bowl first, just so we don't get any shell. So if the shell breaks, we can still pull the shell out. So that one doesn't have any shell. Good job. 1 solid crack. There we go. Okay, this looks good. No eggshells. So that goes in. We're gonna beat this on low. So you can use a hand mixer, or you can use, if you have a stand mixer, you can. We're gonna beat this on low for 30 seconds, scraping the sides, and then we're gonna beat it on high for 3 minutes. So now that we've whipped it, we're gonna add as much flour as we can. That's 1 cup that we can stir in with a spoon. So we're going through. My goal is to get another cup in here, but then we'll knead it for 6 to 8 minutes. So that's 1 cup. Second cup. So at this point, I'm still using a spoon, not my hands. You do want to make sure your hands are washed. So now, this is a clean surface. I've already cleaned it. Put some water or some flour down. Get it out. Scrape as much of that as you can. And this is called kneading. So to knead, you're going to pick it up and push in with the palm of your hand, kind of folding it in on itself over and over again. And if it touches the surface, it will stick. So that's why you want to have flour down. So right now we have a little more than 4 cups in here. And you do this for about 6 to 8 minutes. If it's getting sticky, add a little more flour. So you're gonna do this for 6 to 8 minutes until you get a nice ball. And we'll check back in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've been just kneading it for about 6 to 8 minutes. What you're gonna do is just kind of roll it into a ball. And then you're gonna lightly grease a bowl, drop it in, cover it with a towel for about an hour in some place warm. All right, so now we're gonna divide it into 2 equal balls. A nice lightly floured surface. And then keep the camera there. We're gonna cover it for another 10 minutes. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. I'm gonna work with 1 at a time. When you roll, you want to get to both sides floured. Now, I'm trying to roll into a circle. So as I go, I'm kind of turning. So you want to make sure you do both. And remember, we're looking for about 12 inches diameter. So I just took that leftover butter, melted it, but now I'm going to brush up on all of the bread. Okay. Now that I've got it all buttered, I want 12. So I'm just going to take a pizza cutter right down the middle. Okay. So now I want each side to have 6 because I want 12 total. So if I cut here, there would be right down here. Now there's 4. So to get 12, each one of these needs to be 3 pieces. So I'm not going to go in the middle. I'm going to do about 1/3. Okay, so then once you've cut them, you're going to start with the thick side, you're going to roll them in, and then you're going to put it on a greased pan. You want to space them out so they're several inches apart. We're going to be baking this at 320. All right, so now that the first batch is rolled, we're going to put it at 325 for about 12 to 15 minutes. So when you take them out, you want that color to be a little brown right there on top. That's about perfect. And then you can put the next ones on and put them in. I like to cook them in 2 batches because that way, while you're eating, you can put the second batch in. Go ahead. You guys like them?
No.